And we are back with our stories. It is day 3 on our narrative writing. Remember, a true story. Ooh, phone's being sticky tonight. Narrative writing is a true story. This one is about a time when you cried. So, as you can see since yesterday, I have added some stuff that my partner had told me to add to my pictures, and I went through and fixed. It's kind of hard if we're not writing in pencil and we're writing in colored pencil, which is okay with me. It's kind of hard to go back and fix spaces. So that is something that we just have to remember to do better on our next writing. And on this one, see, once those marks are there, I can't really go back unless I wanted to rewrite the whole thing, which I don't, and I know you guys don't either, and that's okay with me. But that is something that will be a goal of mine for next time, is to fix my spaces for next time and just to remember. And if you remember earlier, when we were looking at my writing, so my partner, Dylan, was telling me how whenever I was by itself, that it had to be capitalized. She was really reminding me about that. She also told me I needed to go back and add to my pictures. So I hope you can see where I did that. That looks much better, doesn't it? You can tell I was outside. This is exactly what I looked like. It was so crazy, you guys. I couldn't even believe it. There I was, down on the ground, looking up at the sky. Here I was, hopping back into the classroom. Oh man, it was such a sad day. Here's where my space is. Something I'm going to work on. Obviously, I need to reread better because remember I had wrote that same part twice. So that's never a good thing. I went through and see where Dylan had given me the suggestions about my eye. I went through and fixed it so that you could really tell. She had wrote it in red and I went through and wrote it in black. And something else I'm going to work on is making sure too that I'm writing in the lowercase letters, because I did make that mistake. I think I was getting tired. Sometimes when we get to the end of our writing for the day, sometimes we do get tired. So that's what happened there. So then here's where I kind of picked up today. And maybe I'll just reread it to you just in case you forgot. Whoa, got a balancing problem today. So one day I was walking outside when I just fell over. Oh, and don't forget, remember this week we're listening to like the storyteller words. All of a sudden, I was looking at the sky. Oops, I think I should have a period right there. My partner is standing here with me because she is going to help me again today.
Yep.
Okay, so I need a period there. I'm just realizing, don't I?
A little period right there.
I got up and hopped back into the classroom, but then my foot hurt so bad I had to call my mom to come get me. So here's where I left off. I went to the doctor and the doctor said and I'm reading this to Dylan for the first time, it's broke. I said okay, but then he said I couldn't go back to work, so I started to cry. I was so sad. I had to... This reminds me of what you guys do sometimes. I had to stay at home for the rest of the year. And when I ran out of time to do my picture, sometimes it happens to you. And I was so sad. So instead of drawing like the whole background to this, I thought maybe I might do a close-up of my sadness. So today, what we are learning about is, yesterday we learned how a partner can help you to read your story better. Today, your partner is going to help you to hear more sounds in your words. So whoever that partner is, whoever you have at home, whoever you have, if you're at school, if you're at home, if you're at daycare or grandma's or Gigi's or aunt or uncle's, wherever you are and you can find a partner, that partner is going to help you to hear more sounds in your words. Okay, so I thought maybe Dylan could just help and be my partner in reading from right here. So she's going to try to read it, even though I just read it, and she's going to really look at these words and see what she notices, okay?
Okay, so I went to the what is that word?
Doctor.
Okay. You need to make sure that you sound it out.
Okay, so I did.
But you didn't listen to every single sound that you heard.
Okay, so how do I do that?
You say the word doctor, and you listen to the word or the sounds that you heard. Doctor.
Okay, so what sounds do you hear?
I hear a D and a ah, which stands for an O. And I hear a K, which I'm going to say it stands for a C.
Okay.
And then I
Duck,
hear a
duck.
T, which stands for a T.
Which I have that, right?
Yes. Doctor. I hear an E for is ER. R says
Rrr.
R.
Right? We know that. R says rrr. So if it's is different than rrr. There's a difference in the sound. And now that Dylan is mentioning it and adding these sounds, look at these letters, D, T, and R. We learned last week that every word has to have a letter from here. And it appears that I forgot to put a vowel in my word at all when I just put DTR.
All words have vowels.
They have to have at least one. Okay.
So, I went to the doctor. Add.
No, and.
So what do you hear in and? A. D. It's one of your sight words. So you should know how to spell that. You can sound it out or look on your sight words paper.
So that is a sight word that we should know, and I should probably have spelled that one correctly. So that's where I can go and look on here and try to find it.
Where is it? I see it right here.
Okay. So look at it. Looks like I missed that middle letter. Maybe Dylan can help me squeeze that right in there. I would just squeeze it in. So sometimes, if you notice how Dylan is putting the word underneath for me, and sometimes she can help me squeeze it in. If you can squeeze it in like that, then that's okay. But if you have to write it underneath, then you can write it underneath. Okay? And these writings are okay that we have marks like this and like marks like this. This is totally fine. This is how our kindergarten writings should look. Okay? So I went to the doctor and I missed that sound. The doctor.
Doctor, you need to sound it out again.
Or,
You can just look at the word above that you already spelled.
so I think that would be faster, right?
Doctor. Doctor said it's Burke. What is Burke? It doesn't look
Broke.
like it has any vowels.
Oops. Let's make sure everyone can see. We're right here on this word. Right, it does look like it's missing a vowel.
Doesn't look like it has an A, E, I, O, or a U. You have to stretch it out.
So I do have rubber bands close.
Broke. What letter do you hear? Broke.
I hear a B, R, and a K.
Stretch it out even farther. Broke. Now what letter do you hear?
I still only hear those letters.
You need to really pay attention when you say it.
So let's do it. Maybe if you touch the letters when you say them, and we'll figure out which one's missing.
Bro.
What letter is that?
I think that's an O.
Okay, right here. So when you're saying the sounds, your partner, if you're the partner, you should really stretch that sound out, like bro. Oh, like that. That's a good way to be a partner. Broke. All right. Let's keep going.
I sad. Oh, sad, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. You're right.
Even though it has a vowel, sad does not make sense.
Sometimes your partner just might know how to spell the word if you don't know how.
Yes.
And sometimes it's okay if your partner just fixes it for you.
I think it's supposed to be said.
Yeah, but if hopefully your partner knows how to spell it the right way. SAID said, okay, but then he
said.
Now since I know how to spell it now, I can fix this one, right? So if your partner teaches you how to spell it the right way, then you can spell it the right way the next time. I
couldn't go back to work. You need to make sure that you stretch that out, that it doesn't have any vowels in it. What sound do you hear? Work. Work.
work. Well, I hear an R.
Yes, I do too.
So, work. But I'm still missing a vowel, right? Work. So how about an E? Work.
Work.
That's what it sounds like. And that gives me a vowel, right?
Yep.
Work. Will that work?
Yep. So I stop. What is this word? It looks like you don't have finger spaces.
Started.
Started to cry. You're missing the R. Use your finger to stretch it out. Start. Started. Put an R.
Okay, so where does the R go?
Start.
So where does it go?
Star, right here.
Okay. So if that R is missing, then it makes for a very different word. Started.
Started to cry. It looks like you just missed spaces on the whole page. It looks like this is all one word.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes that happens. Do you know what I notice? I notice that sometimes my kids do that. When they start writing, it gets a little sloppy by the end, and that's kind of getting to the end. And I remember yesterday when I was writing, I got a little sloppy at the end and I started writing like in capitals over here. So I know it's really hard because do you notice the same thing happens to me? We get tired of doing it and it's easy to get sloppy. So now I'm going to have to go through and show Dylan where I want the spaces because she's having a very hard time reading my writing. I started, space, to cry. I was so sad. It's supposed to be had.
It looks like you're missing an A.
So that one might be hard to squeeze the A in. I'm not sure. So I might have to just write it over. Okay. Had to stay. See all these spaces I'm missing? Stay at. And that's supposed to say home. And I wrote HM. Because I didn't stretch it out. Do you see? Sometimes too, not only was I having trouble with spaces, I wasn't writing all of the sounds that I heard. Was I?
No, you were not. Oh.
Do you hear my partner trying to make this sound for me? That's what your partner can do for you. Whoa. My goodness, my paper is getting tricky right there. I want you guys to be able to see it. Is that dark enough for you to see it? I had to stay at home. Uh-oh.
It looks like you forgot some spaces here.
Again, right, guys? Rest. It says rest.
Looks like you forgot some vowels.
Ret.
Nope, it looks like you're still missing some. Rest.
Is that right?
Yep.
Rest of the, I'll put a year. So Mrs. Pauline does want to point something out. You should not put these lines unless you mess up. Do not add these lines to your paper. I do not want to see them unless you have messed up and forgot spaces. They should only be, you should not put them just for any reason. They should only be there unless you have forgot your spaces. All right, it looks like I have a little bit more to add maybe on a few pictures and maybe just a picture on the end. And then hopefully by tomorrow, I will be ready for the checklist. And hopefully you will be too. All right. Good luck with your partner.